Lucha Underground. Season 2, Episode 8 is called Life After Death. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here to give you my review of Life After Death. Let's get into it. And this season is just, how do I say this? It's an absolute snowball going downhill, gaining speed up until, like, we're just on the brink of the next episode when I think the entire company is going to get turned on its head. You can smell it in the air. You can feel it coming. You really can. This episode starts out with Phoenix is in the locker room, and Katrina confronts him. And this whole segment was just messed up. I mean, it was a great segment. Don't take it as I didn't like it. She approaches him, and she's like, it's almost like bipolar. She's torn between, she's questioning her actions she did with Phoenix, and yet feels like dedicated to Mil Muertes. And it's, she's got like, the angel on the shoulder here, the devil on the shoulder over here. And it makes you really wonder. You can take it for face value and say, oh, it's relationship issues. I think it's a lot more than that. It was what they're trying to portray here. I think it's like it's a total power thing where she can maybe like take powers from one person and give them to another person. And, maybe I'm reading way too much into this, but I almost have a feeling like that's what's going on here. Like maybe she gave some power to Phoenix in order to have him beat Mil Muertes, and like the kiss of death in the ring that she gave to Mil was like taking power away from him, because right after that kiss that she gave him in the ring, he was done for. Matt Stryker even called it the kiss of death, but little did they know that he would be done soon afterwards. And that match was absolutely incredible. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the first match is the Trios Championship. The Disciples of Death versus Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico. Absolute ton of action. My only complaint is that this match did not go longer. This was only like a 6-minute match. I would have loved this to at least gone double that. It in my opinion, should have been a main event for either this episode or another episode, because it's that big, to see these three, Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico working together, finally gelling, like they were. And, we haven't seen that too much. And, they're finally, they worked so well in this match, it was almost like, what happened? It was like night and day from what we'd seen before. No, Ivelisse wasn't screaming at him like, what are you doing? Like she did last season. It was a good match, though. Don't get me wrong. Great match. So we have new Trios champions, or two-time, actually, you could say. Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico. They get the championships back. They don't have to leave the temple. That's great. The big question is, then, what's going to happen to the Disciples of Death? Because right before the main event, and I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but right before the main event, we see Mil Muertes absolutely decimating the Disciples of Death. Just knocking them out, and you see like the electricity that you normally see between them in the backstage segments. It kind of like fizzles out, so it's like he destroyed them, or maybe we will see them again. I don't know. Hard to say. Will they get a rematch? I don't know. I don't think they will, though. This may very well be the last we see of the Disciples of Death, and maybe Katrina will form a new army. I don't know. It's hard to say. We get another segment where Mundo confronts Puma, and it's another snippet from that season 2 trailer where Puma puts his fist through the punching bag, which was that along with the growling. It's like, whoa. And Mundo, oh my god. He's like saying how he's going to take him to Slam Town next week because they're both going to be in Aztec Warfare. That Aztec Warfare is going to be absolutely nuts. I think almost everyone we've seen so far is going to be in this match. Maybe a few faces we haven't seen in a while because it's 20 people. It's going to be hard to say. And we also get a segment. In that same segment, Mundo, upsets him. Said what else did he say? Oh, he took it too easy on him last season or something like that, or last time they were in the ring together, and thought maybe Puma was gonna get his championship back last week. And he's just riling up Puma, and Puma's just getting more and more pissed. And then like I said, he puts his fist through the punching bag, and so yeah, they're both in Aztec Warfare next week. And then we get to a little a drinking session between Azteca and Mysterio. No, they both have a shot of, I'm assuming, Patron or something, celebrating the fact that Azteca's training is done, and that Azteca has an invitation to Aztec Warfare. So we're finally going to see him in the ring next week. Well, in theory we will. We really don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I think it's going to be a hot mess. All these people coming from all different locations. So we assume we're going to see him. And then also it's revealed in this that Rey Mysterio also has the invitation with the seal on it. So we're finally going to see Rey Mysterio in the ring next week. Pretty sure. Can't wait to see that. Because when we talked to Chris DeJoseph in the podcast back in, was it January? He said Rey Mysterio's health is in great shape. In fact, Rey Mysterio, little side thing here, this coming Sunday, I think it's the 20th, he's got a match on that iPay-per-view with Kurt Angle. It's got all the different mixed martial arts things going on along with that. So, and I haven't heard anything negative about it, so apparently his health is keeping up. It's great to finally see Rey Mysterio back in the ring. Can't wait to see that next week. Hopefully he gets the, hopefully he's not, in and out in 2 seconds. We'll see. We get a Bullrope match between Chavo Guerrero and Tejano. This is another rivalry that's really gaining speed. Or this may be the end of it now. I don't know. And Chavo brings the crew with him, and they end up abandoning him at the ring. And which really was no surprise, considering what we saw last time with Chavo yelling at him and kind of kicking them when they were down. So, yeah, and Tejano wins this, and wins it with a sit-down powerbomb. Crowd's really behind him. Great to see. And then, like I said, and then the next segment was Mil Muertes destroying the Disciples of Death, and their, their powers kind of like fizzled out. And the last guy that he hits, Katrina says, "Spare him," and then he just, completely decimates the last guy, and she's like, "Or not." Too funny. So yeah, like I said, I don't know if this is gonna be the last we see of them or not. And a segment, and this next segment was one of the best segments of the whole episode, and it wasn't even anything in the ring. We finally get to see the revealing of Matanza, and if you saw in one of the last, the comic books, and I'm not sure which issue it was, but in one of the comic books that they've been putting online, it was like a 4-issue thing, kind of like stuff between the two, season 1 and season 2, kind of filling in the blanks, of where people were coming from and whatever. They actually reveal in the comic books what Matanza looks like. And of course, everything in the comics is like greatly, over exaggerated. Cueto's this tall, Matanza's this tall, his arms are this big, and he's covered in blood. Well, we get the reveal of Matanza, and Dario's like, he's ready. I'm going to take, what does he say? He says, "I'm going to take back my temple," something like that. And we see Matanza, and he's got the one-piece jumpsuit on, kind of like what Eric Rowan wears. Except it's it's dark, so we really can't see the color that good. It's like dark blue or dark green or whatever, and it's just covered. He's from his mask down to whatever, he is covered in blood, and it's like something like straight out of the slaughterhouse, which is basically what this other temple became, because he's just destroying his opponents, whoever Cueto was feeding him, guy after guy after guy, or girl, or whoever. So they're also going to be showing up next week, and can't wait. I mean, I hope he cleans up a little bit before he gets to the temple. Otherwise, that could be, really hazardous. You're in a workplace, and you got, blood all over you. That could be considered unhealthy, So hopefully they give Matanza a bath before he gets to the ring next week. That'd be great. Cueto, get on that. So then we get to the Lucha Underground Championship match between Phoenix, turning in his Gift of the Gods title for his championship shot against Mil Muertes. Katrina comes down with him. Man, this match was just crazy. Just destroying each other. Between masks almost getting ripped off. Phoenix was bloodied up. Muertes was like biting him in the forehead. And she, like I said, she gives Mil the kiss of death, and then like the tables were just turned as soon as she did that. So I don't know if that was like her way of like taking powers away from Mil. I don't know, Jason, you're overthinking this, but this, like I said, there's powers at stake here. Katrina's got some kind of, I don't know. Like I was listening to the Twitwell guys, and they even said that she could even be like a succubus or something like that. who knows, you know. Uh, but he ends up, Phoenix ends up getting him in like it was like kind of like a form of like a crab pin, and then instantly rolls out of the ring, completely swarmed by fans. He's got the belt, and then all of a sudden, Katrina says that Aztec Warfare is next week, and that he better get ready because it's no longer for the number one contendership. His Lucha Underground Championship is going to be on the line. So I have a really bad feeling that Phoenix's new championship win is going to be very short-lived. Man, there's going to be so many people coming to the temple. Like I said, you got Azteca, you got Mysterio, Mundo, Puma, Cueto's bringing Matanza. Phoenix is going to be the first guy in, and Muertes is going to be number 20. So somewhere between 1 and 20, well, we're just going to have to fill in the blanks. If I could make an early prediction, I don't usually do predictions when they announce matches like this, but if I had to take a guess, I got a feeling Cueto's going to come back and, like I said, turn the company on its head. We may see a brand new star next week become champion for the first time. Matanza walks in and just destroys everyone. Also depends on what number he shows up to, but honestly, I don't think it's going to matter. He may take out Mil Muertes in the back, show up number 20. Who knows? But everyone's got a lot on their plate next week, nonetheless. Yeah, this, like I said, this has all been snowballing up to next week. Some big things are going to happen next week. I can feel it. Can't wait to see it. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching.